Have you ever observed a cold-hearted man? They appear distant and heartless, but have you ever wondered why they are that way? Cold-hearted men aren't born that way. In fact, the opposite is true. They were once someone who cared deeply, but pain, betrayal, and how others treated them changed them and turned them into people who are cold as ice. This is the grim reality. As a male, you will inevitably be injured and treated unfairly, and without human connection, love, or support, you will become emotionally distant. You'll find stoic men who don't care about anyone, but beneath that appearance lies a man who is wounded, with a wound so large that it appears to be a hole in their heart. I've encountered many of these men in my life, and it's a sad thing to witness. The truth is that you might actually be the cold-hearted man I'm referring to without even realizing it. It can happen to anyone. I used to be a man who had zero care or empathy towards others. I have more than 1 million subscribers across my channels, and people from all over the world are sending me love and support. But it wasn't always like this. In fact, when I was a young boy, there was no love and no support. I didn't grow up in a nice home with loving parents. Instead, I was simply born into violence, and I experienced traumatic events that no child should ever see. This quickly made me cold-hearted, and I know many guys who encountered something so heart-wrenching that it left them heartless. We've all heard of Army veterans who become cold-hearted because they've seen hell on earth and detached from everything to deal with the pain. But the truth is that it doesn't take a war for a man to become cold-hearted. There are many different things that can make a person that way. Perhaps someone you trusted betrayed you, perhaps you were mistreated and used, perhaps your girlfriend left you, or perhaps you mistakenly believed society cared about you and had to discover the truth the hard way. There are many different reasons for a man to become cold-hearted. These men avoid attachment to others because they fear having to feel that pain, betrayal, or trauma again. At the end of the day, it really comes down to one thing: pain. You may think it could never happen to you, but until it does, no matter how strong and kind you are, you'll break. Or do you think the men that are cold-hearted and stopped caring wanted to be that way? They don't. A cold-hearted man deep down still seeks human intimacy. He won't admit it, but it's something he longs for deep in his soul. He becomes cold-hearted and emotionally detached. He armors himself against the outside world and doesn't connect with other people. This kind of man is consumed with rage and hatred. He picks up a sword and attacks the world, often hurting himself and everyone around him. Do not misunderstand. Both the shield and the sword are useful tools, but they must be controlled. You must know when to lower your guard and draw your sword, when to place your trust in others and be kind. You must also know when to draw your shield and weapon. In other words, the best men can turn cold-hearted when necessary. They can use their dark emotions and also be warm, kind, and passionate. It can be difficult to manage one's emotions and heal from past trauma, but remember that if you don't, you'll bleed on others who didn't wound you. I'm glad you stayed till the end. Click on the subscribe button and give the video a like if you want to see more content like this.